You. Getting swole, making gains, getting large. That's how we do. You.
Welcome everyone to Driving While Gaining. Today we are talking about push-pull training. Now, push-pull training is oftentimes associated with chest and back. So for all intents and purposes, I'm going to use chest and back, chest being the pushing component and back being the pulling component, just for today's discussion. Now, push-pull training can be used on a micro and a macro level. And I'm going to define how I'm going to use macro and micro in a second. So when I'm explaining on a micro level, I mean in an actual workout, either going set for set, doing a push and then a pull, or a macro level, setting aside one specific day for a pushing exercise or a pushing day, and another day separate for just a pulling day. I wouldn't recommend doing just pushing for weeks or months only on end, but within a week, within a certain cycle of a training split, doing a pushing on one day and pulling on another. And there's different ways you can organize that, and we'll get into that a little bit later. So one of the benefits of push-pull is that it's opposing muscle groups, whether doing quads, hamstrings, or as I said before, push being chest and back being pull. Doing push-pull can save you time while still maintaining strength, and also working on a conditioning aspect during the actual workout. So if I'm doing a push-pull session and I'm doing pushing and pulling in a specific workout, let's say I'm doing chest and back, I could do an exercise, I could do, let's say, a bench press or a push-up, and then I could superset that, and right after that bench press or push-up, I can do a row or a pull-up. You could also do a few exercises or a few sets in a row, do let's say 4 or 5 exercises for chest, sets for chest being let's say 4 sets of bench press, and then do 4 sets of row or 4 sets of pull-up. So you can change, go set for set or exercise for exercise, or do all pushing for 30 minutes and do all pulling for 30 minutes. You can mix it up in different ways. I'm not going to get into the benefits and the pros and cons of those different subsections or sub-styles of doing a push-pull in a single workout, but that's the gist. Now, one of those benefits is that when technically, if you're thinking in very vague terms, when you're doing pushing, you're not working pulling. Meaning if you're working the pushing muscles, you're not working the pulling muscles. This isn't really accurate because you're always working every muscle that's attached around a joint and other ones as well, because when you're doing chest press, your lats are still attached to the humerus. You have posterior rotator cuff muscles that are also attached to the humerus and to the scapula, to the thoracic spine. So you're never just relaxing your back, but those muscles might be lengthening. They're still stabilizing the joint, but they're not necessarily shortening and contracting. It's not like the same activity for those muscles as what they would be during a row or a pull-up. So they're being inhibited while you're doing the chest exercises. So that is one style in a single workout. You could also do separate workouts where, for example, let's say Monday you're doing chest only, Tuesday you're doing back only. That's a pushing day and that's a pulling day. You could also gather all the muscles or all the exercises that consist of pushing, being chest press, shoulder press, and tricep exercises being an extension and being kind of a complementary assistant muscle for most pushing movements. And then on a separate day you could do rear deltoids, biceps, and back, and that would complement the opposing muscles on that pushing day. You're just not limiting yourself just to chest or back. So there's some different ways you can use a push-pull. You can also do it lower body. You can do quads one day, hamstrings another day. That gets a little more complicated if you're throwing in squats because you're using glutes. And when you're doing a squat, for example, you're using every single muscle in the body, focusing on every muscle in the legs especially, but also core stabilization and other body parts. So it's hard to throw squats into a separate day than hamstrings because you're still working hamstrings during a squat. But you can change it up with rep schemes, and this is all stuff I'm going to get into in other DWGs. I'm going to dig into a little bit more, and also on the blog and Snapchatting. So that's a lot of depth. That's a lot of, subsections of what I'm talking about. But if you've never tried push-pull training, if you've always just done all upper body or all lower body, try organizing your lifts into opposing groups. Push-pull is one way to do it. whether within a single workout or over the course of your 5 to 10 day training cycle. All right? If you want any more information, lads, you can look at my other DWGs or visit Swolenormous.com, and you can see my blogs and all the other information I have to give you. If you've never seen my Snapchat, visit me, check me out, Swolenormous. You can also click and download my Snap code at the beginning of this video, and also right after this at the end. I just wanted to do an accent. I do a lot of that on Snapchat, so if you haven't been on it, check it out. Anyway, here we go. Driving while gaining. See you next time. Yeah!